talk today is about, do you have a secret monster? Now that's an unusual title, and some of you today are going to find this rather confronting. Some of you will find it revealing. Some of you will even find this upsetting. That's not my reason for telling you this. The reason I'm telling you this is because this is core information about psychology and mental health which you need to know and which will help you improve the quality of your life. To kick off, I'm going to talk about a couple of quotes. One is from the Roman poet Horace, and he said that anger is a temporary insanity, a short madness. And then Robert Ingersoll said that anger is a lamp which, got that round the wrong way, anger is a wind which blows out the lamp of the mind. Now the reason I've mentioned these is because many of us, or perhaps most of us, if we were asked a direct question, do you have mental health issues? Do you ever suffer from any kind of insanity? We would say no. Well, when we say no, we're actually lying to ourselves, lying to other people. Okay, most of us would be lying and not be aware that we're actually lying, but we're lying because we're not telling the truth. Now, if we think about the logic behind what Horace said and Robert Ingersoll, and we remember the last time that we got really angry, if we're honest, we will recall how much harder it was to think straight. Our thoughts were difficult to articulate in a sensible way. And very often we said things, we did things, we behaved in ways which we deeply regret, if we're honest. And we also did stuff which we would probably admit that we wouldn't normally say, or we didn't really believe. So in other words, what I'm saying to you now is look at your own logic. Your own logic, your own life experience will tell you that what the Roman poet Horace, now of course he lived, 2,000 odd years ago, and Robert Ingersoll said is actually correct. That when we get angry, we can suffer from a form of insanity. Which brings me to the issue of stigma for mental health issues. People who have mental health issues often suffer from stigma in the workplace, in their day-to-day lives. They suffer from discrimination and so on. Now, to a degree, I can understand why that occurs, and one of the reasons it occurs is because when you have certain mental health issues, they can impact upon your ability to do a job properly, to socialise, to do all kinds of things in life and do them properly. And other people find that type of behaviour inconvenient, difficult, a nuisance, whatever. Some people find it very, very threatening. One of the reasons why people find it threatening is because the mental health issues of another person can remind them, if only subconsciously, of how they have certain issues that they are disturbed by. So one of the things I want to get across this morning is the fact that when you look at someone who has mental health issues, try to see them from the perspective of someone who is similar to you, in the sense of when you get angry, you have your own mental health type issues, as we've already discussed. When you do that, it will help you to view people with mental health issues a lot more kindly. But why should you bother, I ask? I mean, what's in it for you? Because your life is about you. You're not concerned about people with mental health issues and so on. Well, one of the problems with that attitude, stigmatising people with mental health issues, is that it hinders the person from recovering. It hinders them from actually becoming a more useful person to the community, in terms of it hinders them from increasing their level of service to the community, whether that be as an employee or otherwise. It's not very kind either, but it's also a disconnect from reality, because we all have mental health issues of one kind or another. But stigmatising people with mental health issues also tends to protect us from looking at our own issues. And when we don't look at our own issues, we then find that the secret monsters that we have never get sorted out. And we go through our lives inflicting ourselves upon other people. I'm sure you're aware of those stories about people who seem really charming on the surface, and yet in their private lives they're dreadful. They're terrible to their kids, to their wives, to neighbours or whatever. And yet you'd see them at work and they're perfectly all right. Now, some of these people have got mental health issues, some of them haven't, but it can be a matter of degree. But what really matters most of all is the impact upon other people and upon your own life. So if we come back to the issue of the secret monster, what's that all about? Well, that's what's lying in your subconscious, your deep subconscious mind. So if you have a stimuli that makes you angry, notice the words makes you. If you have a stimuli that makes you angry, and then you have a kind of uncontrollable rage, well then of course you're back in the zone of Horace and Robert Ingersoll, where anger is a wind which blows out the lamp of the mind. Now, those issues will continue to trigger until you deal with the subconscious issue, which I'm referring to here metaphorically as a pet monster that lies deep within your psyche. So what I want to do is finish off today by giving you some hope about the situation. First of all, we need to know and acknowledge that we've got some problems, we've got issues, whether it be minor issues with anger, medium, large or whatever, or whether we've got other issues. Everybody has got some kind of mental health issue. Mental health issues are nothing to be ashamed of, though I do know that they can generate a lot of shame. I know that because I had a very, very bad start in life, extremely bad, and I had severe mental health issues when I was young. People who knew me back then wouldn't know me today. I'm a very different person. I've reached the stage where I'm personally extremely glad and grateful for my terrible experience. And the reason why that is primarily because of the stuff I know today, the deep peace and joy that I know today, and the deep sense of love and connectedness that I feel today. Now, back in the day, I suffered greatly from mental health stigma, and it hindered me, it hurt me, I felt ashamed as well. The thing is though, is that I overcame my problems, and it's beyond the scope of this video, but I did that primarily because of two factors, one of which was healing my deep subconscious of issues. So what I want to encourage you today is to have hope that there is a solution to your issues, and to know that the solution, a big part of the solution, lies in fixing your subconscious. We've all got those subconscious issues. So the real question isn't about whether or not somebody has got mental health issues. We all have. The real question is, what am I going to do today to heal the secret monsters, those things that I hide from most other people, that are working in my life and inflicting themselves upon other people that I interact with. That's the real focus. And when you fix those issues, you can improve your level of service to the world. You can be a blessing instead of a curse. You can be real and you can be authentic. So it's time to stop looking at everybody else out there, and it's time to start looking at me. And I'll finish off by saying this. I had really severe mental health problems. Today, I consider myself to be one of the luckiest people in the world because of the experiences I've had, particularly to do with the positive end of the spectrum. And I've reached the stage today where I help business people, executives, top sports people. I even help mental health professionals overcome their problems. So it is possible to go from a state where you have severe mental health problems right to the other end of the scale. But you won't get there if you've got stinking thinking.